Oh my god. Oh my god. Akito was brutally murdered. His unpredictable death has left a looming shadow of mystery in the hearts of Hajime and the others. Who was the traitor? What was the clue Nagito left? Will they be able to see the light within the darkness? Between hope and despair. I don't know. Hi everyone, welcome back to some more Danganronpa 2. We're starting case 5. I'm always nervous before a case, before a trial, because they're usually quite difficult, and I will have absolutely, again, forgotten the controls for all the different minigames and all that jazz. So, yay. But I really don't know who's done it. I really don't know who's done it. I think I maybe know how? Possibly? But this is gonna be the toughest one so far, without a doubt, and I guess we'll set our skills. Let's get ready for the case. It's nearly 3 AM, and I'm actually awake because I've got a blood test in the morning and I have anxiety, so what better way to just calm myself down than talk about someone who's lost much more blood than I'll lose. That makes sense, right? That's good logic. Right, we've got 35 out of 53 points to spend, I guess. Are these new skills? Oh, those are the... Right, I've selected those. Okay, we've got all of those. Cheat code. The time limit doesn't decrease even if you shoot a statement with a silencer. Wait, what? Oh, that's what we got for maxing out Chiaki, isn't it? Effective during non-stop debate. Cannot be combined with infinity unlimited flame. Wait, the time limit doesn't decrease? I mean, that's quite dangerous, because... Well, not really. I'm just thinking, I get stuck in loops of just not knowing what to do, so if the time limit never goes out, I guess we'll just never fail. I'll just have to figure it out. We're gonna try it. We'll see. I mean, that sounds really, really damn good. I don't know if we did unlock any new skills, to be honest. No, I think we're fully maxed out there. I mean, I probably could maybe... I probably actually could get some extra skills, couldn't I? Let's have a quick look. I've only got 2 fragments, so I could get, like, downshift. But I think I've already got upshift, so... Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be... Oh, hang on. Moonsault. Increased jumping power, effective during logic dive. Well, I guess we'll get it. We might as well. I mean, that's the one minigame that I typically don't really struggle with too much. I mean, I still fail at it, but it doesn't feel like I'm just hopelessly, you know, fumbling in the dark. Oh, does it look at that gold star for Chiaki? Oh, we're bestest buds. Maybe even more than bestest buds. Right, let's set that skill, wherever it is. Yeah, cheat code sounds like it might really help. Moonsault, that costs 5, okay. Right, let's jump in to the final class trial? I'm not ready, no. I'm really not ready. Trial start.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
Yeah.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Oh, seeing that picture of Byakuya just reminded me. I've been thinking back to the first game, right? And the whole, like, they were an imposter. Like, apparently that wasn't the real Byakuya, that was someone else. So that means the first death in this game ended up being someone else than who we thought it was, which was the case in the first game with Junko and oh, how have I forgotten her name? Anyway, you know who I mean. So the fact that they're bringing that up now does make me wonder, because in the first game as well, there was a body that was revealed, found, that ended up not being who we thought it was as well, right? So, is that actually Nagito? Are they gonna do a bit of a, oh, that was actually the imposter? I don't know, but I'm really excited to find out. I know it's gonna break my brain.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Oh, and yeah, of course, Monami is... First of all, she's not hanging around anymore. She looks pissed.
Oh my! Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
Actually quite scary.
You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
Just trying to think. The connection between moons and rabbits. I mean, I've heard of the cow jumped over the moon. But I don't... whatever.
Chesto!
Chesto? Oh. And she's still just stood there. Looking... Oh, she's seething.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one?
I mean, I still feel quite sorry for her at the end of the day, but... Oh my god, dude!
This will be my final blow!
She just taking it.
It's useless.
Not so fun anymore, is it, when you don't get a reaction?
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
Fucking finally! Fucking finally! Someone says they feel bad for Monami! And it's Sonya, of all people. Which makes me wonder now. But Jesus.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all.
It has.
The victim this time is Nagito.
Or is
who
it?
attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake.
Was it really Nagito?
Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
I mean, on that we can agree.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor,
Maybe he was killed by the traitor.
that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
Don't you mean Akito?
No, that might not be it.
Oh, Kazuichi with a bit of wisdom.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
I'd be very, very surprised if it was Kazuichi.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
Alright, let me just have a beverage. The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or a different person? Oh boy. Right, what are the controls again? Oh, it's a lot of bullets. Starting me off with a lot of bullets, man.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
I mean, yeah.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
Good question.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If
Oh,
so,
maybe.
The suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
Well,
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
they're even throwing the
There's
things that
no
we've
way
got to
I'd
agree
torture
with.
Someone.
Right, well, first of all, I've noticed that the time limit is still going down, because that would be too broken, but I can fire off as many bullets as I want, and I don't get a penalty. So that's pretty cool. Thanks, Chiaki. Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No, were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place? Looked like it to me. They bloody look like it to me. Huh.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
But what, you wouldn't
The
tape
reason
someone...
Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Hang on a minute. The thing is, right, if they were torturing him to gain information, why would you tape up his mouth so he couldn't tell you the information? Makes no sense. It's very ineffective interrogation. So, let's see what it says about torture wounds. Both of Nagito's legs were tied with rope, and each rope was tied to nearby pillars, which prevented him from moving. His thighs were also covered with a lot of stab wounds. Right. Survival knife. Okay, it's safe to assume that the wounds on Nagito's legs and left arm were caused by this knife. Right. I wonder if he'd done it, if he did it to himself. But wouldn't you cut the rope first? I don't know why he would cut himself with the knife. Because I thought he was holding on to the weight of the spear. Which would... Oh god, right. What evidence have we got here again? What?
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
Duct tape.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect...
Yeah, I could just spam it.
is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
Uh-huh.
There's no way I'd torture someone.
But the thing is, right, again, I don't know what the... Oh god, there's so many options here. This is not easing me into this trial. I feel like the duct tape... Let's see what it says about the duct tape a second, because... I feel like that's important. And that shows that maybe they didn't torture him for information, at least. They may have still tortured him, just for the lols. Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, however the blood that was spattered onto his face wasn't under the duct tape. The duct tape itself had lots of crinkles in it, as if Nagito was desperately moving his mouth underneath it. Yeah, so... They definitely weren't asking for information. Because he was trying to tell him something, but they didn't take the tape off. So... What other options have we got here? Were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture? Well, I guess... I feel like the duct tape is the answer, but maybe not.
Killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
Oh wait, what was Monokuma's account again?
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So
I'm thinking
that's why
maybe
he was so beat up.
Right, let's have a look at Monokuma's account. Also, the Monokuma plushie. Life-size Monokuma plushie that was found on the floor near the fire's origin point. Bloody hole in its stomach as if it was stabbed. Almost like a voodoo doll kind of thing. I don't know where the blood came from. Monokuma panels. I don't see how that's important. Oil lighter, I don't see how that's important either. Monokuma's account. Monokuma knew all along that the bombs were fake, however, he apparently never revealed that fact to anyone. Okay. I think it might be the duct
What were
tape.
they trying to find out by torturing him?
That was Fuyuhiko.
Oh man, right, what I'm gonna do...
Coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Because I don't know, I really don't know what I'm fighting against here. This is terrible. Why did the killer have to... Like, am I jumping the gun too soon with the duct tape? Because it really does look like he has been tortured. But I don't know how else he would have gotten those wounds.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up.
To shut him up?
I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's
That was
wrong.
right! Oh, I got it! My instinct kicked in! And for once it was right.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
There we go. Right, okay. Yeah, they were focusing so much on the wounds and stuff. I was like, well, am I supposed to figure out an alternative to the how he got the wounds? But no, right, okay. We're getting somewhere. We passed the first test.
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious, but you just never quite know what the game wants you to do in what order, right? It's the same with all of these kinds of games. If I could just reach into the game and say, hey, this is what I think, and then the characters would be like, oh yeah, that's right, but you gotta choose the right information for the right question, you know what I mean?
I'm prepared.
Oh no. Alright, Kazuichi, what's your argument?
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Alright, Admiral Akbar.
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Now, let's not call each other names, you colossal cock muppets. Right, here we go again. What's his argument? It's a lot of blades I gotta choose from there.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right?
Yeah.
But that was the trap. Damn it!
I can't just listen to what he's saying, I also need to respond. But I want to know what he's saying so I can offer a rebuttal.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Okay,
But
well
if
that
he
was
taped
alright.
his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer
It's
anything?
the thing that we've got to disprove
Pay
Kazuichi
attention,
here is
this is
the
how
fact
it
that
went down.
there was the
First,
blood.
the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him,
No, wrong one. It's
like you said,
hang on. What
Nagito's
have we
mouth
got
was
here?
taped
I
shut.
think it's the
Obviously
duct
assumed he
tape
couldn't
again.
talk,
It's the
right?
fact that
But that
he didn't have
was
any
the
blood
trap.
on it underneath. Okay, I wasn't paying attention there. All right, give me a minute, game. Give me a minute. I think I know how to
Like you
get
said,
through this.
Nagito's mouth was. You obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Advance.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Exactly.
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
No, that's the wrong one. Oh.
Crap.
Let's
Pay
we need to
attention. This is how
delete.
it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb. Then, after they killed him,
Allow me to cut through
There we go.
those words.
There we go. He was alive.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
Yes.
what did you say?
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? Might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
No. No, I can't. No.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Please elaborate, Chiaki.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
I hope so. I mean, she did give me her underwear. Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right?
Yeah. Oh wait, no blood under there.
The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth.
Mm-hmm. He was trying to talk, which is just so terrifying.
He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so we wouldn't be able to scream.
I mean, it was probably very effective at that, but
Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
while they tortured him for other reasons.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
I mean, true, it's complete overkill.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
It certainly looks that way.
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
I think maybe, yeah.
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard.
True. They may have a lot of capacity for extreme violence, but also extreme intelligence to plan this out and do it in a way that we have no clue who it was, right? Because this is... What a setup.
If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
Yeah.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We think.
We can't think of any other reason.
Other than to prevent us from getting to Nagito quickly.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
True.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
From the very back. I wonder... Because they've obviously set this up so that they didn't need to be in there when it all went down. I think that's why they gave the thing for Nagito to hold, which still might not be true, by the way, but this is my theory. So maybe they set it up so that there was maybe a chance that the lighter would trigger a fire when they didn't need to be in there.
Which means it is plausible to think
Oh.
that nobody here set the fire.
Oh, I've just realized. You know, when they blocked the, it was like dominoes, wasn't it? With the Monokuma panels wedged up against the door. They must have been set up in a certain way that when the door went open, it knocked them over and it went do-do-do-do-do, triggered the fire. Maybe by knocking the lighter over or doing something to it. Or having it attached to a... Oh.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
They basically home aloned it, is what I'm saying.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Exactly.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
It was, and I've got some of it in my head. I don't know exactly.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect.
Right, I give Kazuichi a lot of shit for completely simping over Sonya, right? I am a hypocrite. I do it to Chiaki all the fucking time, but I'm still gonna roll my eyes, Kazuichi.
Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
Damn right it is! The reason for the fire, huh? They're right, we need to clear that up first. Let's see what they say. Burned rope. Monokuma panels, oil lighter. Maybe.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
Yeah, probably.
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Yep.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
No, they didn't.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Aha.
Some way?
The panels.
Maybe they used invisible thread.
Nope.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
Well, no. But opening the door definitely... Some kind of setup was used. I think I need to fire opening the door with the Monokuma panels. That's what I'm going to try. That's what I'm going to try.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime.
The killer used some.
Let's see if that works.
Did they use the oil?
Because I'm agreeing with her.
Based on the
That's...
shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they
Yep.
tipped over, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Yep.
Maybe they used invisible thread.
Nope.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or
No.
perhaps opening the door caused.
Yes! I agree, Sonia. I agree.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels.
They sure did. Like freaking dominoes.
A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line.
Mm-hmm.
Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
Come on, guys.
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
I'm so glad I called that before they revealed it. I mean, it might seem quite obvious to most people, right? But I'm happy that I figured that out.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
Yeah, those are the ones.
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels.
Which are also black and white. Like dominoes. I guess you could have different color dominoes, but typically they're black and white, right?
So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second.
That's a very convenient drawing. I actually really like... Who drew that? Who did that? Because that's really good.
And from there, they felt like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
Was there? Oh no. What did they do? Oh god. What did they do to hide the domino effect? Oh, the music! To disguise the sound of the panels falling over. Maybe? Let's try it.
I see! You're talking about the MP3 player, right?
Ho ho!
That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
So it actually served a function. It wasn't just to make it creepy as fuck. Inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Hey, do you guys hear something? Yeah. So we established it was really loud. Okay. Not talk about the music. Fire.
That's it.
I mean,
So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
it was really... I don't know how they actually triggered the lighter, maybe just by knocking it over, but that's putting a lot to chat. Like, you'd have to really make sure that lighter's gonna set that curtain ablaze just from things knocking it over. You know what I mean? Like, that, you'd have to be pretty spot on with that.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right?
Oh?
Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
I mean, it was blocked, so we'd have to really force it open, which would cause the domino effect. And I suppose in the confusion of that, we didn't realize what had happened. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Yeah. I mean, it was a trap. Kazuichi was right, it was a trap. Just not for us. I'll use a little more force. Yep. Bam!
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
Yeah.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Well, that's the thing, right? I think I mentioned this last time. How would you set that up and then leave the warehouse if there's only one door?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, That door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
Yeah, unless Nagito set it up himself? Which would be weird, but not... I mean, if he wanted to use himself as the great hope stepping stone, maybe this was all Nagito. But then again, that doesn't explain why he was desperately trying to talk through the tape. Unless someone stumbled in on him doing it. But no, he was tied up. There's no way he could set... No one could have got in. No. I don't know, man. This is weird. See the problem Chiaki's talking about? The killer couldn't have left.
I see.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Exactly.
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Possibly. But we were all outside, weren't we?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Yeah. Unless it was Nagito. But there's certain aspects of that don't add up.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
I keep saying that.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Nagito, right?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
I suppose he did have one arm that wasn't... Like, he had one arm free, didn't he? But how would you stab yourself in the hand with it? I feel like maybe Nagito was setting this up and doing this to himself, and someone stumbled in and interrupted him and added to it. I don't know. Person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done it. It's gotta be Nagito. It's gotta be Nagito.
This is my answer.
Yeah.
What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
Yeah, maybe a self-inflicted victim.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the way that it's set up certainly could be a suicide, but there's just other elements of it, like the wounds all over his body. Unless that was also to make it... I don't know.
His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget?
Those could have been self-inflicted. It's just I don't know how his hand ended up with the knife inside it.
Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I think when we were talking about the traitor, or no, when we were talking about where the bombs were, and Akane was like, everyone was asking where the bombs were, he said something like, you'd have to torture me to get the info. So maybe this was all just a setup on his and... Oh, wow.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember?
3 of his limbs were.
Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Not really.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know, though. He could have done it if he had one arm free, surely. Because you could just tie up both your legs. Then, like, one hand tie your other arm. I think you could do it.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Yeah.
Need to discuss?
Why are you so nervous, Fuyiko?
That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
I don't know if it is. Seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. Let's see. Burned rope.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
I don't know.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Maybe he wasn't
How
by
about
himself.
If you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
You what?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Is that a dirty joke? Front tail. If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should have tied himself up too. Well, the thing is, I think someone could have helped him, yeah. Because we don't know how long he was tied up for. And the whole thing that was set up to where he didn't need to be... Yeah, I think someone may have actually helped him. Question is who? Like, would Monokuma have done it? Or Monami? I don't know.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's
I think the
obviously
burned rope.
impossible.
Let's have a look at what the burned rope says a second. Yeah, the rope that was tied to Nagito's right arm burned off. However, Nagito's right sleeve still looked clean. I don't think that happened during the fire. I don't know. Did it? What are the other options?
Tying just the legs is one thing, but
Burned rope.
tying both arms would be impossible.
Oil lighter, Monokuma panels,
do much
Monokuma
with the free
plushie,
arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
survival knife.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
I'm not quite sure. I think maybe, do I need to grab... Do I need to, like, take one of these bullets and use it on another one? Because that
actually
always,
tie
that
up your
always
own
messes
arms
me up.
and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be
I
impossible.
think what I'm trying to... I think I need
You
to
couldn't do much
grab
with the free arm.
the one that says...
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth?
Or if you use your front tail? Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
It'd be hilarious if that was one of them. Well, I need to just see this a few more times.
To actually tie up your own arms
Tie
and
your own
legs.
arms and legs.
That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
But that's the thing. Both arms weren't
It'd
tied.
be
Well, one of them
impossible
was
if you were
kind of
by
tied
yourself.
up. By yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty
I think I
joke.
need to
Is that
grab
a
one of
dirty
these.
joke?
I don't know if it's any of this. Oh man, I'm struggling with this one a little
Tie up
bit.
your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tie up your own arms and legs.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
I don't think I've grabbed the right bullet there.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
No, that's wrong. Maybe I need to do... I think that's what I'm trying to argue against, that he wasn't by himself, but I don't know what my,
Crap!
what option would...
To actually tie up
Argue
your own
against
arms
that.
and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Maybe
Tying just
maybe
the
the
legs
burned
is
rope
one
is
thing,
something.
tying
I'll
both
try
arms
the
would be
burned rope
impossible.
because that obviously means his arm was
Couldn't
free.
do much with the free arm.
It'd be
But he's
impossible
Kazuya
if
says you
were by
can't do
yourself.
it. Bollocks. No, that's wrong as well. Oh, I'm struggling a bit. I'm struggling a bit here.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
Bugger off.
That's obviously
Oh, that's
impossible.
right. I'm gonna try that one. Just a little bit of trial and error
It'd
here.
be impossible.
How about if you use your or if
don't
you use your
think-
front tail?
I don't think any of those are correct,
joke.
right?
Is that a dirty joke?
That can't be right. That can't be right. It's got to be one of these two.
To actually tie up your own arms and...
Oh, there we
No,
go.
That's wrong.
All right, it was just the burn rope.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
Well, no, only one arm was tied up.
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on
Yeah.
that, you can't say he was tied up.
Yeah. The thing that threw me off was Kazuichi was like, "Oh, you can't do much with your free arm." So I felt like they already knew that one of his arms was free. But no, I mean, yeah.
That was just burned by the fire.
I
He
don't
should
think
have
it
been
was.
tied up before then.
No, I don't think it was burned by the fire, because otherwise Nagito would have gone up in flames, right?
Burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof that burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap. His right sleeve.
I see.
Take a close look at his right sleeve.
It was burnt prior to the fire.
Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was able to move it freely, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is also maybe how he gave himself all those cuts.
Yeah, that should be the case.
Although he could have just done that before he started tying himself up anyway, maybe. I don't know.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Thanks, Akane. That means a lot.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
Wow! Wow! Okay, Sonia, business entrepreneur.
That's definitely wrong.
Just a little bit illegal, yeah.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
No, that is still quite... I mean, I don't know if that... Yeah.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito.
I don't know what the laws are like over in Japan, okay?
I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
Yeah. That's the thing that I'm confused about.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Unless you put the knife on the ground, blade up, and just press your hand on top of it. Maybe you could do it that way. I mean, it'd be really... Again, we're talking about self-mutilation here. It wouldn't be fun. But you could do it that way.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
I never gave you any money. No, did she try to charge me? Now she wants the money back? What the heck? Yeah, I haven't even got any... You haven't let me, you know...
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
That's an insane amount of money. A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. There's definitely an answer for this.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
No.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow
Yeah, that's what I think.
and slammed his right hand down on it?
That's what I said.
Onto what?
If he just propped the knife,
It'd probably
he
fall
could have
over.
used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Well... He was holding on to something. I just assumed it was the cable or the weight. Because there wasn't any blood inside his other hand, right? So maybe he did hold it and reach over. Nagito can use his right hand to stab himself with the palm. How did he do it?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand
I feel like
with
I
his
have to-
right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall,
I mean, that's a
stab
bit
his
too much of a
hand that
stretch,
way?
I think.
Is he a throwing knife
I think we have
expert?
to grab what Chiaki said.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his
Ah.
right hand down on it?
Oh, I missed it.
Propped it onto what?
Well, I don't know.
if he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily.
I think they
We don't know
probably
if his
would.
left hand could even reach his right hand.
I think he could do that. I think he could do that. Right, hang on.
Even if Nagito's right hand was
I don't
free,
think. Because
how
what
would
if
he
it
stab his
wants me
right
to use the?
hand with his right
No, I
hand?
don't think it'd be the burn rope again.
If he
Survival
threw the
knife.
knife into the air and let the knife fall,
Hang on. I just need to. I feel like I need to grab one of what they're saying and use it on another argument, but survival knife. Yeah, I don't see how that really helps us.
could he stab his
I
hand
think I
that
need to
way?
grab what Chiaki says.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
It must be. It must be because of the way that they're
Onto
awkwardly
what?
covering it every fucking
If he just
time.
propped,
That's
he
got to
could've
be
used
what
it.
it
If you're
is.
tied up, we don't know if his left hand could even reach his
Right,
right
let's
hand.
try and grab it again. Let's try and grab it again.
Even if Nagito's
I'm
right
gonna grab
hand
it
was
from
free,
like around here.
how could he stab his
Still got
right
plenty of
hand
time.
with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife, could he stab his hand?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Right, get
Maybe
ready.
he propped the knife somehow?
Grab it. Grab it.
And slammed his
Oh wait,
right
well let me
hand
grab
down
that
on it?
one. Oh, maybe I need
Propped it
to
onto what?
agree with her then. Alright, okay.
If he just
Okay,
propped
okay,
the
hang
knife.
on, hang on, hang on.
He could have used his bound left hand.
I'm gonna try that. And fire
if
it
you're tied
at...
up, your arms won't
what
bend that
Chiaki said.
easily. We
That's
don't
what
know
I'm
if
gonna
his
do.
left hand could even reach his right
That's
hand.
what I'm gonna do. Because yeah, wasn't it his left hand that had a bloodless part on his palm? So he was holding onto something. Could have been the knife.
Even if
try that
Nagito's
again.
right hand was, how could he stab his?
If he threw the knife and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go.
Propped the knife somehow?
That was wrong. Oh! I do think he propped the knife. What did he prop it with? His left hand. Maybe it wasn't his left hand.
Even if
Oh.
Nagito's right hand was
Oh!
free,
The plushie.
How
The
could he stab
plushie.
his right
The
hand
plushie,
with
the
his right
plushie, the
hand?
plushie, the plushie had blood on it. The plushie had blood on it. It's the plushie. It's the plushie. Yeah. Yep. It even got a hole through it. Yep, as if it was stabbed. I should have checked all the bloody evidence, shouldn't I? Right, it's that.
If he
It's
threw the
definitely
knife into
that.
the air and let
It's
the knife,
definitely
could he stab
that.
his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife some.
There we
I agree
go.
with that.
Did it. I agree, Chiaki.
The life-sized Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
Mm-hmm.
He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it.
God, this is so fucked up. This is so fucked up.
If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
Yeah, okay.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
Uh-huh.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
True. Both very, very unsettling images.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
I get what you're saying about the
crap.
wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem.
Sorry, I skipped what Sonya said there. I could read it, but it was only a short
The
thing.
spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right?
Yeah, well, I've already established how I think that happened for Yiko, so bring it, okay? I will explain everything.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito.
I think it was.
If that's true, how is that possible?
The one thing I'm still confused about is the fact that he was talking through the duct tape. Maybe he did that to make it look like he was being tortured by someone, but it's very odd.
He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
He was holding onto the weight, onto the cable.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
No.
There is a limit to his constitution.
Yeah, there's no way. It was dangling above him over the girder. We know
If you got
this.
penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Okay, what you gonna do, Danganronpa? What you gonna do? What's the next bit of dialogue gonna be? Because I have a feeling it's gonna go somewhere. Yep. Yep.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got
Oh, no.
penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die
Please
instantly.
don't say it again.
Say it one more time. I need you recorded. For
No!
reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's impossible?
No, we know how it went
But no
down.
matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else. I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
I mean, he's got a point.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone.
Oh, damn.
If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Oh, really?
Monogamy's sassing me.
Sure is.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far, so this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
I do think there's more to it. I think maybe Nagito was interrupted. Because I think maybe the motive was he just wanted Hope to win. So if he killed himself, then that helps Hope. Or you know what I mean? Nagito's a weird guy, but I think something put a wrench in his plan.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
Uh-huh.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
Because you're the frickin' best, Chiaki.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Not for Nagito, it's not.
Do you really think so?
No, I think out of everyone, I mean, he's made it quite clear at various times that he just doesn't really care about himself.
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
That's the gotcha. Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
Yep, and I know exactly what it was.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
I do.
You don't know.
I do.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
How can you say no to that face? How can you say no to that face?
Everyone working together.
She's right. We've made it through several ordeals up until till now by doing that. Even
Alright,
now.
let's do this.
Yeah. Right. Burned her up somehow and I've blood on left hand. That might be key. That might be key here.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
That was very touching, it was.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
Yeah.
He was only able to move his left
right
hand.
knife. It wasn't his right
His
knife,
left
wasn't his right hand.
was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
Nope.
If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail.
Oh my god!
I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
What are you saying?
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
Nagito committed suicide, then he must have used that spear to stab himself. Even if his arms and legs were tied up, there's no doubt he used some part of his body. The only thing he could have used is his left hand.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work
Just
together
need
and
to
think this
think
through.
what I need to shoot here.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Yeah, it didn't need to be
And that
free.
rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong.
That was quite an easy one. That was quite an easy one.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Wait, Hajime, don't you mean hold on?
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
Didn't need to be free for this to work.
But there was something off about his left hand.
No blood on it.
The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain.
Blood on the girder.
Look, there's blood on
Oh.
the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Okay, well that too, but there's blood on the girder above.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit.
Already done it.
If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
It was holding on. It was gripping.
I see.
Like this case.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand.
Don't. Oh god, are they gonna go there? Akane? Don't you say it.
That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
I think we're in the clear. I think we're in the clear.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
For fuck's sake! I thought we got away with it. I thought we'd got away with it. God damn it.
Here's the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear.
Or the cable that was attached to the spear.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild.
Yeah.
He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
Yeah, again, this is just crazy that you do this to yourself.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
He wasn't holding the spear directly. That's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
More sage advice from Akane.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
Uh-huh. The cord.
I see.
It was gripping the
That's
blade.
it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
You know, it feels quite... I'm not trying to be smug or anything, but it feels quite good to have called something way ahead of time in a Danganronpa trial. Because a lot of the time I'm so confused. I feel like I did pretty well on that one. I'm just gonna say, I think I did pretty well.
Cut off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
Because it was... dangling.
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
No, of course not.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki?
The blood on the girder, that's what it's gonna be. Come on, Chiaki, we know this.
I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand, but from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear? I got it. I've already got it.
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
Yes, that would be delightful.
At a time like this,
Any time's tea time.
how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a great plan. I love that. It's a short, catchy name. Rolls right off the tongue.
That's a long plan name.
Shut up.
One step at a time. What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Mm-hmm. Could it be the state of the spear and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment? If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. It was dangling above him. Oh, it's a logic dive! Yay! Right, what were the controls again? What were the controls again? Oh. Okay, that's jump. Okay. I still much prefer this minigame. This minigame's the best. Best minigame. Come on. I can't sing this game's praises and then fuck up all the time. Whoa! Question 1. Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Above Nagito. We need to go yellow. Go yellow. Go yellow. We got this. Oh, okay. Getting a little bit trickier now. Do 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 do. Whoa, living on the edge quite literally there. Holy balls. Alright, question 2. What else was above Nagito? A ceiling girder. We gotta go blue. We gotta go blue. It's so nice being confident that you know what's happened. It's so rare that it happens. Again, I don't really need to go super fast here. You do get plenty of time. It's just, you know, you gotta go fast, right? Whoop. Okay. Oh, look at this. Skillage in the village. And again. Question 3. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? The spear's cord. Yellow. Straight ahead. Nice and easy. Smashed it. Oh god, there's more. Oh, no, there's not. No, there's not. Yay! Okay. Don't you just love it when there's a nice, simple mini-game
It's all coming together.
that's straightforward, with no bullshit mechanics?
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular. In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
You got some ESPN?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Yep.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
God, I'm so glad I called that so early. Honestly, I'm so proud of myself right now.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling.
Mm-hmm.
So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
I mean, yeah, it seems that way, but I also feel like there's gonna be a twist. There's gonna be something that throws us completely out the window, because there's still questions we have. There's still questions.
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
Unless they wanted to be out of there when it happened.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real?
Yeah, I think maybe we've established how he did it. We just don't really know why or the context around his actions.
He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
That's so messed up if that's the case.
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end.
Yeah.
Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Jesus Christ.
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
I guess so. That's the bit that I'm confused about. Like, did he do that whole thing just to make it look like he was being tortured by someone? I guess so.
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Or that. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Did he need to go that far?
That's a good fucking question.
That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake.
But I feel like he's always wanted us to win, though. Maybe because he was acting so differently, he actually wanted us to lose?
By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer.
Unless he just wanted to make it as difficult for us as possible, so if we did actually survive this, then hope has really prevailed. Maybe that's it.
His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
I mean, maybe, but
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
this is not the end of it. This is there's more to it than this.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Jeez, I was starting to feel a little sympathetic toward him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. I don't know. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I'd forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right?
Exactly. And there's still so many... There's like the poison that we found. There's there's other shit going on here.
Whatever became of that?
Yeah.
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
I don't know. I don't think. I think he's got the very opposite of delusions of grandeur. He had a very low opinion of himself.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion.
Have we though? Have we though? You're gonna have to tune in next time to find out. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is crazy. We've done quite well though. I think we've figured out some stuff out. But there's more to it than that. There's definitely more to it than that. I can't wait to find out. Take care, everyone. Bye bye for now.
Danganronpa.